Squids, it's me, Sid. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry, I haven't posted in a while. Midterms caught up to me and I was swamped for a while. So for wrap-ups, I will do a wrap-up for October and September when I do the one for October. So today I'm going to be reading and annotating Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. So first, let me get the tabs. Okay, so I'm actually just gonna do two because I don't know how to annotate and that will become obvious. So I have this one to match this and this. I have this one to match this and this one to match this. Now let me decide what I want to annotate. Okay, so I've decided to do clues and good lines because it's a mystery book, so clues are obviously going to be important. And I mean, I could do characters, but I honestly don't really feel like it. So I will use for highlighters because I will obviously also highlight. And I do have more of these if I need them. But I will use this for the yellow and this for the red because it's more red. But yeah, this book is 274 pages and I'm actually going to read the back to you because I decided to. And 10 strangers are lured to an isolated island mansion off the Devon coast by a mysterious UN Owen. At dinner, a recorded message accuses each of them in turn of having a guilty secret, and by the end of the night, one of the guests is dead. Stranded by a violent storm and haunted by a nursery rhyme counting down one by one they begin to die. Which among them is the killer, and will any survive? All right, let's get started. Forgot how disturbing old kids rhymes are. I'm not going to read it to you because it's very disturbing. But the poem at the very beginning of this, where the book gets its name, is very disturbing. Now let's get started. We've met, I don't know about all of them because it said there were 10 and in here there were 8 parts, so I don't think we've met everybody yet. Several of them mentioned, the characters mentioned something that happened some time ago, so obviously we're getting that set up. I do like the way it moves between chapters or within parts between these chapters. I'm not going to stop at every chapter. I don't know how many chapters there are. I have to squint so I don't accidentally read it. Okay, well there's an epilogue. 16. There's 16 chapters. I probably won't, like 17 because of the epilogue. I probably won't pause every chapter, but if there's something interesting, I will talk about it. book so far is there's more than 10 characters. I don't remember who all of them are yet. I'm hoping as I get more into here I do, but so far. I've decided maybe I am gonna stop every chapter. It's interesting though. I'm interested because they all are a little strange. Like they're all a little bit kooky. They all have something they're hiding, obviously, but I have no idea who it is, obviously, because I'm that far into it. But there's a couple people that are saying things that I think are meant to lead me to suspect them. But she's a twisty writer. She is, so. Record was just put on and it accused all of them of killing somebody. Although one person is said to have killed like 21 people, and I'm like, well, that's worse than killing 1 or 2 people. I mean, but you know, like, so after the record was played with their accusations, I guess, they all like went around and kind of said what they did. Some of them definitely didn't tell the truth, and some of them didn't feel bad about it. Some of them did feel bad about it. Some of them just didn't say anything. I think everyone's lying, and I think one person just died. I'm sorry, I know I just paused to talk about it. This is one of the... So on the first page of the 5th chapter, that young Norse god in the prime of his health and strength? Sometimes you can tell when a book is old. So yes, one person died. He just kind of died. So I'm assuming he was guilty. And it sounded like he didn't really care about what he did. Like he didn't even, he was like, oh, it's just an accident, tough luck for them. They just kind of ran out into the street. Oops. So that's a little, you know what I mean? But, whatever. And so we've got a couple other people who are kind of like thinking about kind of what they did, and are going back and forth between like regretting it, not regretting it. And so I don't know if they're gonna die or not, but they also think the one kid committed suicide because he drank cyanide, and they don't think anyone else could have done that, but obviously I disagree with that. I do kind of wish I hadn't read the back of it, you know, to know that there were 10 people that had all like done something wrong and they're all gonna die, but the caretaker's wife, who was the cook, also cleaner, died too. They were accused of killing their old boss, which I think, again, probably they did. It also seems like some of these people are actually connected through like spiderweb, which is it kind of reminds me a little bit of Murder on the Orient Express, which I read, and all of them were like connected strangely and all of that stuff. So I wonder if it's kind of like that, where they're kind of like connected through like a friend of a friend, or like this thing and this thing, you know, type of thing. But yes, so now we're down to 8 people left out of our 10. So we're 2 down, 8 to go. I actually don't know if all 8 are gonna die, or if it's like we find out like before all 8 die. I mean, obviously one has to be the killer, right? So if one of them is the killer, then we would only go down to 9, which means if it's 2 down, we have 7 to go. But I don't know if we find out who did it before all 7 die, or if we only find out after. That's the question that I have right now. I didn't even realize this until they pointed it out. So the people are dying, whatever order, but in the way of the poem that's at the beginning. So the one guy asphyxiated, he choked to death. That's how the first kid in the poem. I might read you the poem actually, just so we get it. So 10 little soldier boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8. 8 little soldier boys traveling in Devon. One said he'd stay there, and then there were 7. 7 little soldier boys chopping up sticks. One chopped himself in halves, and then there were 6. 6 little soldier boys playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. 5 little soldier boys going in for law. One got in chancery, and then there were 4. 4 little soldier boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3. 3 little soldier boys walking in the zoo. A big bear hugged one, and then there were 2. The 2 little soldier boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up, and then there was 1. 1 little soldier boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself, and then there were none. By Frank Green, 1969. Obviously very disturbing, but so far the murderers following this pattern. But then I become curious if one person just felt like really bad about what they did, and so they're gonna kill 9 people and then themselves. I don't know. Also, I don't like some of these people. Some of these people just are not nice people. I mean, obviously all of them are accused of murder, but like some of them just do not feel bad about it. Like they're like, oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't really care. Like, what the heck? Nothing really new to report. No one else has died. They're searching the island because they think there must be someone else. Obviously, there's not. Some of them are a little suspicious. I think I know who the next person who is going to die is, and I do feel a little bad for him because he feels like really actually bad for what he did. He's like, I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad thing to do, and I just kind of want to reunite with my dead wife. So that makes me kind of sad. I mean, he did do it. Obviously, he said he did it, but I feel bad for him a little bit, you know, because he's just, well, now he's like old and senile, so of course I feel bad for him. If I wouldn't feel bad for him. So who I thought was gonna die, did die. But not in a good way. He got hit in the back of the head. Someone hit this poor old man in the back of the head, and that makes me very upset, actually. I don't know why I feel for this guy, because he, again, did murder somebody. But I think it's because he is like, man, I really shouldn't have done that, and that was like really not a good thing for me to have done. And like, now I just, you know, I want to be with my wife. I you know, it's fine. So now we've come to the conclusion that it is one of the 7 people that are left who is committing these murders, but we still do not know who it is, which is fine, obviously. I mean, you know, but I'm still not sure who it is, because the only thing, because there is a very, very, very extreme, like, Catholic woman, religious, I guess. I don't know if she's Catholic, but she's like, sin, 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 all of this sort of stuff. Sin is bad. I can't super imagine her killing a bunch of people because murder is a sin, unless the only way I could think of it is like God told her to, you know, that kind of like just mind break kind of snap. She did it. The judge, I don't know. I feel like he could have done it. The woman, the other woman who's like a governess, I definitely think could have done it. So yeah, I guess I just don't, the one super religious woman, I think it's the only one I think didn't do it. Not that she's not crazy, but it's because she's already that type of crazy. I don't think she's also a killer in the like actual murder sense. Besides her actions led to the death of someone else, and the way that was described was to me was very on brand with the type of religious that she seems to be. But so let me see who I think is gonna die next. Okay, so I think it's someone's chopping up, it says chopping up sticks. So I definitely think it's one of the men that's gonna die. Place your bets. You aren't reading it along with me, but so there is the judge, a sailor, an ex-cop, a doctor, and the house handyman. I think it's the handyman that's gonna die next. We'll see. gonna pause for a little bit. So the light's probably gonna change. So no one has died yet. Again, I'm on page 148, and like I said, it goes to 247. So I should be able to finish this today. Super quick, super easy. For me, I read very fast. Obviously, I speed these up, but I'm using my phone to record. I started at about 11:30-ish, 11, and it is about 1 o'clock now. And like I said, I'm on page 148, so about hour 30. Is that how hours work? Yes. About an hour 30, maybe a little bit more, because annotating does take me a little bit longer, and pausing to talk to you guys about my thoughts. So 2 hour 30 to get 148 pages annotated. But yeah, so right now we are going to bed again. In the book, we are going to bed again. We think that it could still be anybody. The judge thinks he knows who did it. I'm interested to see who he thinks did it. And I'm still not convinced that it's the religious woman, but I feel like that might be where it's skewing. I don't know. Well, and like in the beginning, she was like, apparently it was so hard to understand that I had to write an epilogue to say who actually did it. And I'm like, but I want to be intelligent about it. Anyway, so yeah, I am on chapter 11, page 148. I'm going to take a little bit of break, so I will see you when I get back. I'm back. So let's get right back in. So the guy I thought was gonna die did die. And now everyone's starting to get hysterical, but they're like calm about it, I guess. So now let's see if I can predict this next one, because I kind of predicted the other two. See, it's Bumblebee, so it's like, I don't know if any of them are allergic to bees. See, I don't think it's gonna be one of the women yet, because we still only have 2 women to 4 men. So I think another one of the men has to go before one of the women starts going. I think I think either the sailor or the inspector is gonna die next. I was wrong. I was right and I was wrong. So the religious woman died. But I did say before that I didn't think the religious woman did it, so technically I'm both right and wrong. Now I feel like the women are fair game. I think it might be the judge. Because he's kind of like leading everything. Oh, I wonder if the sailor is next. Because the next one is like... No. That's for... Going in for law. See, the law one could be the judge, but I feel like it's not that straightforward. Those two were pretty easy because of what I was reading. We've obviously got to start picking up the pace. But I think the judge is doing it. Oh, maybe the ex-inspector is next, then the soldier or sailor. Then I'm not sure. And then I think the last one would be the doctor, unless the doctor dies next. I think the doctor or the ex-inspector. We'll see. So I don't remember if I said it was the judge, but it was the judge, which I kind of, anyone to do with law, I kind of thought. So next is the sea, and I think the next one is the sailor. But we'll see. Again, I don't know who did it. Like, if obviously I can say, oh, who I think is gonna die next based on the clue. But like, if that doesn't happen, me guessing who it is isn't really gonna be super helpful. I could see the governess doing it, but I don't think it's her. So who even do we have left? Okay, so we have the governess, the sailor, the ex-cop, and the doctor. I think the ex-cop could have done it. I think he definitely could have done it, or be doing it. Although this suggests that the doctor did it, because the doctor was the last one up. I don't know. But I think the sailor is the next one to go. I'm very bad at this, apparently, because the sailor did not die. It was the doctor that died. I think he got thrown into the sea. Alright, so he's dead. So it's either the sailor, the ex-inquisitor, or the governess. And now I'm leaning towards the governess. But I'm gonna stop trying to guess because I've now gotten like 3 wrong in a row. I mean, what's the next one? A big bear? I feel like that could be the inquisitor. But like, I feel like I don't know. I have 2 chapters left, actually. 2 full chapters, an epilogue, and then a weird document thing that I will hope to understand when I get there. I want to know. Obviously, again, they all committed the things that they were accused of doing, so. But, like, I could see it being... The only person I can't see it being is the sailor, and if it's the sailor, I'm gonna be so upset. Not for, like, book reasons, but, or, you know, like, not because, like, I think it'd be a bad plot point, but because I didn't guess it. So they thought that maybe the doctor didn't actually die because the line in the nursery rhyme says red herring, so they were like, oh, maybe it's a red herring, but they just found his body. Now, whether or not he died before the ex-inquisitor, I don't know, because the ex-inquisitor died, but I think he... Sorry, the people on my street hate me. So I think, though, that he died beforehand, and I think that then the ex-inquisitor went in and he died. So we have 2 left, and I think it's the governess. I have 1 more chapter left, epilogue, and the extra bits, but I think it's supposed to resolve in the next chapter, and the epilogue is supposed to explain everything. But I think it's the governess. Watch, I just be completely wrong. I have a 50-50 chance. So I don't know if that was entirely correct, but the governess did kill the sailor, and then she hung herself, which is how the poem ends. Let's see if the epilogue clears it up a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like super confusing, but it is still a little confusing. So let's see if it clears it up. Did not clear it up whatsoever. That actually made me more confused, because they said that the governess hanged herself and that she could have kicked the chair out from under herself. Made sense to me. Apparently, the chair was just like put away properly. She couldn't have done that. So was there someone else? Was there someone else on the island? Was there someone else on the island? Because she said that she wrote the epilogue, because there's a little from the autobiography. I don't know. I was so certain about who did it. I might have to look it up after I read this last little bit. It's called A Manuscript Document Sent to Scotland Yard by the Master of the Emma Jane Fishing Trawler. But I wonder is if this is the explanation? But we'll see. I was kind of right. So it was not the governess that did it, it was the judge. And the epilogue did not clear anything up. That was, I think, meant to be originally part of the story. But this a manuscript document sent to Scotland Yard by the master of the Emma Jane Fishing Trawler is the explanation. So basically, it was the judge. He got like bad news that he was going to not live a whole lot longer, and so he decided to do this whole thing. He set it up. He killed 10 people. He did actually kill 10 people, and then himself. So he didn't super stick with the poem, but that's okay, I guess. This was really good. This was really, really good. I have read, I think this is my 3rd Agatha Christie book. I read Murder on the Orient Express, and I read Death on the Nile. Death on the Nile? Yes. Death on the Nile. I did not like Death on the Nile. I liked Murders on the Orient Express, and I really liked this one. I think this one actually might be my favorite. It was really, really good. Obviously this is a spoiler review, but I really liked this one. I thought that the plot was really, really interesting. The whodunit was really interesting. Really all of it was really interesting, and I really liked the way it was written. My main issue with Death on the Nile was the way it was written. this was kind of a mixture of the way Death of the Nile and Murders on the Orient Express were written. But I like this one. So I think my ranking of Agatha Christie, the few Agatha Christie books that I have read, goes And Then There Were None, Murder on the Orient Express, and Death on the Nile. But Death on the Nile, it's like, And Then There Were None, Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, you know? Anyway, so that was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me. I will see you next time. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Bye.